Random Rockers. As you can tell, I had fun at that Thrice concert this past Friday. I never got a chance to talk about it immediately then. I was pretty tired and stuff, and still kind of am between that and a cards game the other day that I mentioned in my last video. Still recuperating in ways, I guess, even though it's now a Tuesday. But now I finally have decided, you know what, let's finally just get to it, quit beating around the bush, and just talk briefly about this concert. And then before I do that, I will do my Opeth. Again, to reiterate what I put on my Facebook page, if you guys bother to go check it out. If not, I'm telling you now that I'm going to probably have it sometime tonight, if not tomorrow. And then, of course, sometime the following Monday will be possibly whatever movie, if I ever do see a movie again. And and of course, the Alter Bridge, the Last Hero album, which hopefully will include, if I'm lucky, both included the bonus tracks, The Last of Our Kind, and a track that apparently was not on that album, Breathe. That was left off on the shelves from their ODR sessions, Breathe. Hopefully, I'll get that version, and I will talk about those bonus tracks as well as the tracks that come with the actual album standard. And that's what you would have to expect. Do not expect me to talk about Green Day. If you really want to know a little more on that, I could recommend you 2 channels to do that. Because no. I used to like Green Day. It's just, I can't really stand them as much now. You'd think I would because I like Blink and stuff, but no. Blink still holds weight in places. It's a lot more fun. As opposed to Green Day, I guess. Green Day does have some legitimate songwriting stuff, even though they're more involved with drugs and stuff, from what I hear now. From what I hear from their earlier works, as opposed to now where they're more politically charged. Which was fine when I came to American Idiot. But I'm rambling on again. Sorry, let's talk about the concert with Thrice. Pageant in St. Louis. What happened was, let's see, they started off the new album with Hurricane. Now, I'm not going to be able to do this. I remember everything that happened in its entirety, except maybe how they started this and ended it with For Miles, and then we got an encore, and we got and they started it with Artist in the Ambulance. The title track, and then followed it up with Deadbolt, which I found out later when I went to purchase these. There was a nice little box that said, if you tip good, they might play Deadbolt. And there was already plenty of money in it by the time I was there. So it was like, oh, so that's how they play Deadbolt. So it's kind of funny how they have that in their merch area. Which I should have got these, I guess, earlier, but 2 each zone. Yeah. Not a morning person, but here we go. If you can't see my face much, but that's fine. You can see the merch. That's all that matters. And yeah, besides that, they never played anything from Identity Crisis, and I wasn't expecting them to. Deadbolt was the only song that was from The Illusion of Safety that got any play in their rotation. And they've only played, aside from Artist in the Ambulance, they played Hoods on the Paragon and Silhouette. And that's it. They didn't even bother to play All That's Left or anything like that, which sucked. Now, there was more songs from the VSU, aside from the obvious being songs from the new album, To Be Everywhere Is to Be Nowhere, which kicks a lot of ass and is definitely Album of the Year contender, and probably is the Album of the Year still. Then there's, of course, then the other tracks they would play with VSU, I believe might have been of Dust of Nations was, I think, the one that I might not have been for sure which track that was. I mean, I know the lines were "Put your faith in more than steel" and stuff, and I know that for the chorus is how it started. So I think that might be of Destinations. I do know that "The Earth Will Shake" played. You know what? Hold on a second, guys. I need something. I need some references to help my brain work here. Because it's not working on the fly like it should. Hold on. Okay, so the other tracks that I just figured out were... I think I was confused with Music Box when it came to... Or it was Music Box I was confused with, but it was actually... I think it is actually of Destinations. And other than... And of course I mentioned The Earth Will Shake. I did mention For Miles that closed out their actual main set before the encore. And then, of course, there was... And then, of course, there's Hold Fast Hope, which was one of the heavier ones. And which I think they segued perfectly into Hoods with Paragon with that one. My God, the set was great. I was told that this set would probably sound better within the pageant instead of being in the middle of in the center part, instead going up on the top. You'd hear it better that way. Yeah. Yeah, morning person, jeez. Other than that, guys, I'd say that the only other tracks following that, they only played like one song from each half of the Alchemy Index. They never played anything from Water or Earth. They just played from Fire and Air, specifically the tracks Backdraft and Daedalus. And they played at least maybe 3 songs from Beggars. I believe I have 2 of them. I may upload to Facebook sometime in the week on my page, or maybe find Thrice's page and upload it on there. I don't know what I'll do. So, with them, I think that's more likely what I will do. So, look forward to that. If you know me personally, and especially have me on Facebook, check me out that way. Surprised no one follows me, though, other than like one person does, and I appreciate the follow, guy, my friend. Fellow Rundermarker. Let's see. And then, of course, Yellow Belly was the only one track that that was from the last album, Major Minor. But the newest album, pretty well, the majority of the songs were for the newest album. Obviously, Hurricane having started it, of course. And of course, they would play Black Honey because of the point has been massively playing this a lot. There's a lot. And Blood in the Sand was another one they played. The Window was one they played. I was disappointed they didn't play Wake Up. Wake Up was definitely would have been a fun one to hear. That's what was disappointing on that one. But they did play The Long Defeat. I knew they would have to, because just the way the chorus, that song comes to close, it feels like a good crowd pleaser. It comes off as a good crowd pleaser. And then, of course, they, aside from that, Black Honey and Death from Above they played. And that's kind of what rounds out most of the set of what they played. Between that actual main set and the encore they would play later. Some songs I would have liked to have heard from, like, maybe a little more Artist in the Ambulance songs. Maybe a few tracks. Give tracks from Artist in the Ambulance a little bit more of that. But other than that, the set sounded great. There may have been little gripes in certain delivery for Death from Above, or at least when he gets to the point where he gets to that little scream of sky, but he doesn't do it. But it didn't come off delivering as well as it did on the recording. But, sometimes you can't complain. Sometimes when it's really raw, you expect it. Other than that, the set sounded great, even down in the pit area. Yes, much more even down in the pit area as opposed to... crap. up there, as opposed to even being further, more closer to the bar in the pageant. But yeah, it still sounded solid, even with it being closer. It still sounded solid. Like the environment and the set was perfect for it, and it definitely showed that this quality, even in the shirt here, it's quite nice, was great. I pretty well enjoyed this, and I wished a few of you that you random 3 out of you 16 random rockers that I do know of would have come to the show and enjoyed yourself. And I might. Oh yeah, All the World Is Mad, I think, was one I did mention. That was from Beggars. They played The Wait. And they played, and yes, Wouldn't Mind. I think those were the tracks I did mention, Beggars. I didn't remember. I figured I'd reiterate that. That is all on that. There's not a whole lot of tracks I could think of that they, aside from All That's Left, and just maybe a little more Artist in the Ambulance would have been nice, I guess. Maybe a little more tracks from Beggars would have been nice too, since those are my 2 other top favorite records, as you've seen in the last video. If not, go check that out for that random rock countdown, because I know there's been very few views on that one. Grr. Trigger, no. Kidding. Alright. I guess that's kind of what I had to say about the concert. It was, fantastic. It sounded exactly better than what I thought it would from what I heard from the Black Honey sessions that you might have seen on their YouTube page. The Hurricane one that just recently came out was actually really good on that. It sounded pretty much almost kind of like what we got out of the... That was another thing. I wish the drums didn't kind of come across as prominent as they did on the recording for Hurricane. But it still was good, nonetheless. Those were, I think, my little gripes. They had an issue. They said at the Artist in the Ambulance when they did the encore. They even mentioned it, but it didn't hindrance it. It actually worked real well with that. They delivered a lot of their songs. Some of the way he delivers vocally doesn't seem as on point as they come across on the recordings as well, and some songs as well. But other than that, every song sounded like it came straight off the album, and that's a plus for sure. What did you guys think of the think of the concert if you were at the pageant, or are you looking forward to any of the ones coming near you? Or just Thrice in general at this point? Comment below. Let me know. Follow me on my Facebook page, and just like this video for that page. Rock that like button with thrust if you must. And as always, guys, keep it random, keep it real, keep it rocking, and I will see you in the next video, which will hopefully be for the Opeth Sorceress, and that's about it. And then Alter Bridge, hopefully the following week, since it's a big release. Alright. Keep it rocking. Peace out.